So now I'm going to talk about Sama Bajau society structure. Some Sama Bajau headsmen or clansmen have been given honorific titles like Datu, Maharaja, Panglima by the government, like under the Sultanate of Brunei. They usually only had a little authority over the Sama Bajau community. And the Sama Bajau society traditionally highly individualistic, and the largest political unit is the clan cluster around mooring points, rarely more. Unlike the most neighboring people, Sama Bajau society is more or less egalitarian, and they did not practice a caste system. Caste system is a form of social stratification characterized by endogamy, hereditary transmission of lifestyle, which often includes occupation, status of hierarchy, customary social interaction, and exclusion.
Individualism is probably due to the general fragile nature of their relationships with land-based peoples for access to essentials like wood or water. When the relationship sours or if there is too much pressure from land-based rulers, the Sama Bajau prefer to simply move on elsewhere. Greater importance is placed on kinship and reciprocal labor rather than formal authority for maintaining social cohesion. When there are few exceptions, however, like the Jama Mapun or the Sama Pangutaran of the Philippines, who follow the traditional pre-Hispanic Philippine feudal society with a caste system consisting of nobles, notables, and commoners and serfs, politely introduced by the Sultanate of Sulu.
For the Sama Bajau group, fishing is the principal source of livelihood. However, except for the Bajau Laut, other communities are economically flexible, adopting farming where land is available or taking up other occupations. Here, the majority practice farming, engage in trade, and rear water buffalo, cattle, and horses. In addition, some travel inland annually to join interior communities in rice harvesting in return for a share for the crop. For agriculture or partially agricultural groups, the main crop growth are rice, cassava, maize, bananas, and as cash crops, copra and fruit.
Fishing communities are characteristically located close to areas of coral reef, submerged terrains, bays, channels, and stretches of inshore water, sheltered by fringing reefs, islands, or coastal headlands. The marine life exploited by Bajau fishermen is diverse, including over 200 species of fish, large barriers of shellfish, crustaceans, dolphins, and other sea mammals like sea turtles, taken for their shell, eggs, and egg sac, sea urchins, and edible algae. Fishing equipment includes drift nets, leaf nets, spear guns, hand lines, long lines, traps, harpoons, explosives, lures, jigs, and poisons.
Industrial arts, shore and land-based groups tend to specialize in the different lines of trade and craft production. Some communities, for example, act as centers of boats building, pottery making, weaving, blacksmithing, or even inter-island trade and transportation. Other specialized craft includes the manufacture of kajang mats and roofing, padunus mats, sun hat and food covers, shell bracelet, tortoiseshell combs and other ornaments, lime and salt making, and skilled carpentry and wood carving. The division of labor. Both men and women participate in framework, smithing, boat building, and inter-island trade are male occupations, while women weave and make the mark, pottery, except for the boat's nomadic groups. Fishing is carried out by all the male crews, with women and children engaging in offshore gathering.
Trade occupies a central place in Bajau economy. Historically, the Bajau were highly valued by the traditional trading states of the region for their specialized seafaring skills. European accounts of the 17th and 18th centuries attests to their local importance as supplier of marine commodities, boat builders, seamen, and occasionally pirates and slave raiders. Bajau in western Sabah historically traded with the inland Dusun communities, exchanging dry fish, salt, lime, shell ornaments, and other coastal products for rice, fruits, tobacco, and forest agricultural goods. Out of this trade evolved a network of periodic markets known as tamu, held at from 5 to 20 days interval. Today, along both sides of the Philippine border, smuggling provides a lucrative living for those with the necessary capital and commercial connections. Thank you.
Among boat-dwelling and strongly maritime groups, fishing grounds are available for common exploration. For the Bajau Laut, fishing areas typically overlap, making possible cooperation between families from neighboring Moorish groups, particularly during large-scale fish drives. Among more settled fishermen, fish traps and lift net sites and artificially constructed fish corrals are subject to individual ownership. Otherwise, as with other groups, fishing grounds are unowned. Historically, both nomadic communities were without land or other property ashore except for small burial grounds. Here, the dead of several neighboring Morat groups were buried among shore and land-based groups. Virtually no form of corporate ownership exists. And houses and both its residential farms, lands are held and inherited under individual rights of tenure.